Course 4. Board Leadership and Organizational Transformation. Topic 1. Executive Leadership. Executive leadership is the capability of senior executives to establish strategic direction, inspire organizational commitment, drive transformation, and create sustainable long-term value through effective governance, decision-making, and stakeholder engagement. Unlike operational management, which focuses primarily on efficiency and execution, executive leadership emphasizes vision, organizational culture, strategic alignment, enterprise resilience, and long-term competitiveness. For modern chief financial officers, CFOs, executive leadership has become a core responsibility as finance leaders increasingly influence corporate strategy, digital transformation, capital allocation, enterprise risk management, and board governance. Leading executive CFO programs recognize that technical financial expertise alone is insufficient. Successful CFOs must possess the leadership capabilities necessary to guide organizations through complexity, uncertainty, and continuous change. The role of executive leadership has evolved significantly as globalization, technological disruption, geopolitical uncertainty, sustainability challenges, and digital innovation reshape business environments. Senior executives must balance short-term financial performance with long-term strategic investments while addressing the interests of shareholders, employees, customers, regulators, communities, and other stakeholders. Executive leadership therefore requires integrating strategic thinking, financial discipline, governance excellence, organizational transformation, and ethical decision-making into a unified approach to enterprise management. At the center of executive leadership is the ability to articulate a clear strategic vision. Vision provides organizational direction by defining long-term aspirations and aligning resources toward common objectives. Executive leaders communicate purpose beyond financial performance by explaining how the organization creates value for customers, employees, investors, and society. CFOs contribute to strategic vision by translating long-term ambitions into financially sustainable growth strategies, investment priorities, and measurable performance objectives that support enterprise value creation. Strategic decision-making is another defining characteristic of executive leadership. Senior executives routinely evaluate investments, acquisitions, digital transformation initiatives, international expansion opportunities, sustainability programs, and organizational restructuring under conditions of uncertainty. Effective executive leaders combine quantitative analysis with strategic judgment, balancing financial returns, competitive positioning, organizational capabilities, and enterprise risks. CFOs play a central role by providing capital allocation frameworks, scenario analysis, financial modeling, and performance forecasts that improve executive decision quality. Executive leadership also requires enterprise-wide perspective rather than functional specialization. While operational managers optimize departmental performance, executive leaders consider interactions across finance, operations, marketing, technology, human resources, supply chains, and customer experience to maximize organizational effectiveness. CFOs increasingly collaborate with CEOs and executive teams to integrate financial strategy with digital innovation, operational transformation, talent management, and customer-centric business models that strengthen competitive advantage. Organizational transformation has become one of the most important responsibilities of executive leadership. Digital technologies, artificial intelligence, automation, platform business models, and changing customer expectations require organizations to continuously adapt. Executive leaders establish transformation priorities, allocate strategic resources, manage organizational change, and foster innovation while maintaining financial stability and operational continuity. CFOs support transformation by developing investment governance frameworks, performance metrics, business cases, and financial controls that ensure transformation initiatives create measurable value. Leadership effectiveness depends heavily on communication and influence. Executive leaders must communicate strategic priorities clearly, inspire organizational commitment, and build alignment across diverse stakeholder groups. CFOs regularly communicate with boards of directors, investors, regulators, employees, lenders, and business partners regarding financial performance, strategic investments, enterprise risks, and transformation progress. The ability to simplify complex information, tell compelling business stories, and facilitate executive dialogue strengthens leadership influence and organizational execution. Executive leadership also encompasses corporate governance and ethical responsibility. Boards of directors and executive management share responsibility for ensuring accountability, transparency, compliance, risk oversight, and responsible stewardship of organizational resources. CFOs contribute through financial reporting integrity, internal controls, enterprise risk management, regulatory compliance, and governance frameworks that protect stakeholder interests while supporting strategic growth. Ethical leadership strengthens organizational reputation, investor confidence, and long-term sustainability.
A defining feature of modern executive leadership is stakeholder orientation. Traditional shareholder-focused management has expanded toward broader stakeholder value creation that includes employees, customers, communities, suppliers, regulators, and environmental sustainability. Executive leaders increasingly integrate environmental, social, and governance (ESG) considerations into strategy, capital allocation, talent development, innovation, and enterprise risk management. CFOs support this evolution by measuring integrated financial and non-financial performance, while communicating sustainable value creation to investors and stakeholders. Digital transformation has fundamentally changed executive leadership practices. Artificial intelligence, advanced analytics, cloud computing, enterprise platforms, cybersecurity, and predictive modeling provide executives with real-time information and decision support capabilities that improve strategic agility. CFOs leverage digital technologies to enhance forecasting, performance management, scenario planning, and capital allocation while supporting enterprise-wide digital innovation and data-driven decision-making. Executive leadership also requires emotional intelligence, resilience, adaptability, and continuous learning. Leaders must navigate ambiguity, manage crises, resolve conflict, develop talent, encourage innovation, and build inclusive organizational cultures that foster collaboration and high performance. The ability to remain composed under pressure while maintaining strategic clarity and stakeholder confidence distinguishes highly effective executive leaders from technically competent managers. The Global Competency Framework identifies leadership, strategic thinking, governance, communication, influence, business partnering, enterprise risk management, planning, and performance management as critical competencies for executive finance professionals. Modern CFOs are expected to lead beyond the finance function by influencing corporate strategy, supporting board governance, driving transformation, developing organizational capability, and creating sustainable long-term enterprise value through executive leadership and strategic partnership. In today's dynamic global economy, executive leadership is no longer defined by positional authority, but by the ability to inspire vision, guide transformation, foster collaboration, and create sustainable value across the enterprise. Organizations whose CFOs combine financial expertise with strategic leadership, governance excellence, communication skills, and organizational influence are better positioned to navigate uncertainty, accelerate innovation, strengthen stakeholder trust, and achieve long-term competitive success.